I mean, personally, the buzz is hard. As me being a grassroots person that's born and raised here, literally out the San Francisco public housing system, staying in Hunters View, staying in Alice Griffin, staying in Sunnydale, and always maneuvering Potrero Hill. They talking. We doing something that we never have done before, and I think that is the buzz. Violence is all up in our neighborhood through the day-to-day situations, and the only thing we have not attacked was City Hall. And by his brothers and sisters seeing me doing something out of the ordinary, which is something normal for the normal people, they're talking about it every day. So the buzz is great. The last move that's been made by working with Lynn Sweets and Ed Donaldson just made a incredible, remarkable step. With that team and that unique symbol with us three moving in a direction of changing the whole system on how we think, how we work together, how we communicate, and how business is structured, it's going to, make District 10 a whole viable community again. We'll be back in position. Folks will be back working. Folks will be back buying homes. Folks will be back and have the opportunity to start their own businesses. So with that energy and folks seeing people from their community actually doing it, it's just going to perpetuate, and more folks is going to want to do what we have just done. So that system needs to be done in every neighborhood across the United States. Bring somebody out their neighborhood, help transform them, educate them, empower them, and then put them in position and watch how many people follow them. This is home base, West Point, Hunters View is where I'm from. And I always said as I was younger, we got a lot of things that's going on, a lot of things we'd like to see that we change, but if we can stimulate in one area that's going to make everything fall in place like a domino effect, I think it's jobs. When you start enforcing and making some mandates on this local enforcement and jobs around here, then brothers and sisters that's being trained through CBOs, that's here, that's qualified and being referred out to these sites, man, families won't be as dysfunctional. It won't be as fragmented. You'll have more so brothers and sisters actually going and taking care of their kids. You're actually having brothers going to getting their kids and putting them in programs like football, the Brown Bombers, or basketball, something at the YMCA. And when you start stimulating minds financially like that, the social part will come. And I think we want to do it, but since we don't have the money, the means, the resources, that makes us not to want to be around our mothers, our kids, our wives, because we don't have nothing to offer, and we're tired of being talked about. And with that to be said, once your person get a job and change the way they mind frame, you don't have to push us out. I'm telling you, we probably want to move, but you got to give us that opportunity to make those choices. I'm Rodney. I never changed. Born here all my life, 38 years. Many of you know me, straight out of West Point. I'm reliable, I'm oriented, I'm determined, I'm detailed, and definitely in community efforts. I'm new. I am a new face to the whole political arena. City Hall would take a radical change, a radical transformation when they deal with us. So with that to be said, man, this is the recovery process, and that's what I'm a part. And I just want the community to know that once we put somebody in office like them, then change will be in our favor, then we can do the things that we want to do, and then the violence, the crime, and the lack of becomes no more. So remember, those that's been first shall be, last sooner or later, and those that have been last shall be first. And we're making that happen right now today. Thank you.
My campaign has been optimistic from day one. We're still optimistic, and the buzz is pretty good. I mean, right now I'm looking at some of the endorsements that this campaign has gotten, and being endorsed by the current supervisor is not a bad thing. Being endorsed by the Sun Reporter is not a bad thing. Being endorsed by Amos Brown, Willie B. Kennedy. Oh, and by the way, the San Francisco Chronicle. So it gives you a little hope that this may work out. Working with the youth in this community to form a District 10 Youth Council. That was something that they asked for after the tragedies that were happening out on our streets concerning what was being perceived as ethnic violence between Asians and African Americans. Once we got the students sitting at the table to talk about what they thought it was, the real reality was that the adults weren't listening to the students, that adults had pretty much taken a situation that could have been just talked through and made a whole lot out of it. So they wanted their voices heard, and that's a promise I made at my youth summit, and that's the first thing I did, is pull that together for them. What I want people to know about me personally is that don't believe everything you read. Get to know the person. Right now, if you were to call me anything, I mean, I've been called the downtown candidate, I've been called the Willie Brown candidate, I've been called the radical candidate, I've been called the candidate with only a black agenda. I mean, I've been called all these things. But if you want to call me anything, there are three things you can call me. You can call me black, you can call me female, and you can call me Christian. But aside from that, don't believe it until you get to know the person.
My name is Ed Donaldson, and I'm a candidate for District 10 Supervisor, lifelong resident here in Bayview Hunters Point. Been here for 45 years. My family has been residents for 65 years, and the things that I'm trying to do are stuff around employment. In particular, the local mandatory workforce hiring ordinance, which will mandate that 50% of any construction jobs that are now coming through the neighborhood, that 50% of those jobs will go to local residents. The buzz around myself being in the race has been good in that a lot of people have been excited about the fact that I'm in the race, and because they know me as a person, the integrity that I have, and that when I'm involved with something, they know that I care deeply about it. But it's been good. It's been very good, and I'm happy to have joined forces with another person that's here from Bayview, or at least a couple of people that's here from Bayview who are also candidates in the race, one being Lynn Sweet and the other person being Rodney Hampton. These are two people that I trust that as neighborhood residents that they have a vested interest in seeing something good come out of this race as far as the folks at Bayview Hunters Point. Some of the other issues that I've been working on, in particular, we have a foreclosure crisis that have claimed 1,400 homes here on the southeast side of San Francisco that continues to rage out of control. So what I want to be able to bring to the table is a comprehensive solution around how to capture many of these homes and preserve them as affordable housing. San Francisco did not receive any of the federal funding that was allocated by the Obama administration for that express purpose. So we've been able to identify some socially responsible private capital that's willing to come here to San Francisco and commit their funds to the extent that we can identify the matching funds to go along with it to launch a foreclosure acquisition initiative. One of the other things also that I'm working on is the Right to Remain ordinance. In particular, we have to make sure that the 50% of the African American population that's here in San Francisco that lives in public housing, that those folks are protected, that they understand what their rights are in regards to being able to return and come back to their places of residence. And so we have to protect those folks. And right now, they're just not being protected. There's all kind of rumors out in the neighborhood in regards to, people being bought out and so forth and so on in an effort to move, and we just can't continue to let this happen. So I stand firm on both those issues as well as the local mandatory workforce hiring ordinance. My family has a long history. I mean, if you ask anyone about my family, they will tell you that it's a very upstanding family. It's a family that, a family of go-getters, and it's a family that has integrity. And, so I stand on that, as a person, who's sincere about what it is that I'm doing, who cares deeply about the folks at Bayview Hunters Point. How can I not? I've been in this neighborhood for 45 years. How can I not care about, this community has given rise to, and substance to who I am as a person. All the opportunities that I have come about as a result of me being a resident of Bayview Hunters Point. So the people of the 40s and 50s, in the 60s, people like Eloise Westbrook and Ruth Commerce, the Big Five, what they fought for, I represented. They fought for opportunities, and I had the opportunity to go to school, get a degree, and I benefited from all of the things that they fought for. So, here I am. I'm the future.